everybody. Aaron McCarthy here, trying to help us all get our data out of Wodify and into PushPress. So a couple of websites we're going to get into are going to be the Wodify website, the PushPress website, and then for different users of either Mac or PC, we're going to be using a couple of different programs. On the Mac, and we'll start here, we're going to be using Numbers to convert our files into a usable format for PushPress. On the PC, we'll be using Excel to be doing that. I will say for Mac users, it's pretty straightforward, just like it is for PC users. The only difference being Mac has Excel available to it, and we just don't need it. It does not export in a format that PushPress can use. Not sure why, but nonetheless, Numbers should be free in the App Store for those that don't have it. So let's, for those that need to download that, please do that. You can pause here, get logged in to app.wodify.com up here at the top. App.wodify.com is the same site that everybody will see when we're at the gym. Class, leaderboards, etc. All the good stuff that we need. The one thing that's going to be different for each of us is using this My Performance tab to pull our data out and get it into an Excel file that we can then manipulate and convert into a CSV file, a comma separated value file, to pull into PushPress. Now there's going to be 3 different files that we need to pull out: gymnastics, weightlifting, and metcons. And I'll go through each of them fairly quickly and pause anytime. So if you need an extra second. Gymnastics, for some of us, there may not be any data shown. Reason being, this defaults to the last 30 days. So what we want to do is we want all of our information to come with us. So we're going to flip it to all time. Pinwheel rolls, resets, information here. If we went back, you can see my screen, it goes back 7 years without even trying. And we're going to export this. Most everybody's files are going to export into their downloads folder, but you'll know where your files download and can pull them. I'm going to pull mine to the desktop just so I have them handy. That's gymnastics. Weightlifting, again, don't be fooled. Last 30 days, I want all time. Get in there, export that as well. Go back to my downloads. I'm going to pull that back to the desktop, and then our metcons. Metcons, history. Again, if I was to do the last 30 days, I've only got 20 records, but if I go all time, 1,310. So everybody's going to have a different number, depending on how long you've been at the gym or other gyms that have used Wodify. Export. That's going to export down to the side. I'm just going to pull that up to the top. Pretty straightforward. I've got 3 different files there, and now I want to start to convert those into a usable format. So I'm just going to minimize my web browser. I'm going to pull up my performance results, which is weightlifting, and I'm going to right click and I want to open it with Numbers. Again, we're skipping Excel on the Mac and using Numbers. Now from here, I don't need to do anything. All I need to do, or at least when I say nothing, I don't need to touch the data. I just need to go in, File, scroll down to Export to CSV. Pretty straightforward. File, Export to CSV. Leave everything as it is. I'm going to save it on the desktop. Desktop, performance results, into PushPress. Ha ha, PP, make your jokes, and it'll show up right there. I want to do the same thing for gymnastics. I'm going to go down, right click on it, open with Numbers. It's going to pull it open. File, Export, CSV, leave it alone, save. I'm just gonna tag it as PushPress. Again, it'll show up at the top right as I do that. That's for my gymnastics, and this is going to be my Metcons. I'm going to open it with numbers. Again, pretty straightforward. File, export to CSV, save. PushPress, export. Now that I've got those, all those files converted, again, you can see how quick it took. Didn't take any time at all. I can quit numbers and I'll have these XLSX files here and I'll have these CSV files there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my web browser and I'm going to go to the PushPress site, which is train.pushpress.com. train.pushpress.com. You can see today's workout, tomorrow's workout, whatever the workout is that day, you'll see that there. And we'll click in using the same username and password you used to access the app on the phone. This will pull up and we're going to go to workout history. Workout history is where we import all of our information. Now today's workout, because we used PushPress, is already going to show up in there. So there may be some information in there if you've been to the gym this week. But I'm going to go to import scores, and you can see these files that I've converted into a CSV file are selectable. And you just pick the first one. It's going to be Metcons, upload, and since I've already uploaded my previous Metcons, I'm not going to do it again and introduce more complexity into my own PushPress app. But as each of us does this, we hit upload. I'm going to hit cancel. As we do that, there should be a green little pop-up box here that says success, congratulations, etc. Your Metcons have been pulled in. We're going to do the same thing for Metcons. We're going to do the same thing for gymnastics. Every time we should see a green box pop up right here. If there's a red box that popped up, that means essentially chaos has ensued, but also that that process that I just showed in exporting in numbers was not followed properly. If there's an opportunity to help with that, troubleshoot that, holler at me at the gym, shoot me a note on this video once it's uploaded to YouTube, and we'll get you situated. I've tried this a number of different ways, and using Excel and numbers. The only way I've hit 100% of the time is by following the instructions that I shared with numbers. Doesn't work in Excel. File save as CSV does not work in numbers or Excel. It's a disaster for some reason. But going through numbers and exporting works like a champ every time. So this is what it should look like as all three of those files are imported in the Mac. And now we're going to flip over to the PC side to see what that looks like over there. Very similar, but we can use Excel on the PC side. So hang tight, you'll see a little dissolve here, and we'll be right back. What we're going to cover now is working with Wodify, moving to PushPress on the PC. So very similar to what we just saw, and you should be somewhat familiar with this screen. This is the main screen. Like last time, we're going to be going into the My Performance tab. This should be familiar to everybody. Just the PC version of this. You'll have to excuse me, I'm recording this well after the fact because I realized there was no audio on my original upload. So if you're unfamiliar, we're going to be at app.wodify.com on the PC, and we're also going to have that train.pushpress.com on open tabs. First we'll go into My Performance, click on that right up at the top, and you'll see 3 different areas that you want to get. Gymnastics, again, it's going to default to 30 days, so we want to see all time on that. Click all time, everything should pop up no matter how old it is. Export, and it'll just show right up in your downloads folder. Same thing with weightlifting. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because when you click on it, there will be likely information for your gym already in there. Again, go back to all time. So we're capturing all that data. No matter how long we've been using Wodify, click into export. It'll export an Excel file. You'll see it right there. And then down to Metcons. Same thing, you'll see data, but let's go back into all time. Click export. It'll be right there in your downloads folder waiting for you. From here, again, we're pretty much done with Wodify at that point. We're going to flip over to PushPress, but before we get into that, we're going to have to go to Excel and start to convert these files. And like I've said on the other side of the video, I've already exported, or I should say imported, data into PushPress. So I'm not going to be able to do that this go round, but I'll show you the process by which we get there. A little bit of an error there on hitting stay safe, but enable editing, and then this is where it gets a little bit different. You're going to go to File, and then down, second from the bottom, I guess, it'll be Export. File, Export. If we click on that, and it's going to be the same for all 3 file types. I go through them all, but if you want to just follow this and skip through, feel free. File, Export. We're going to change file type. Change file type, and then down on the right side, CSV, delimited. We're going to click on that one and then save as again. And for whatever reason, this is the way that it works. I just end up saving them in my downloads and then retitling it however you want to. I think I put, PP on here for PushPress. So it's a delimited file that's been exported from Excel in the proper format. Everything from here is going to be the exact same thing for the other 2 files, both your Metcons and your gymnastics, or your weightlifting, excuse me. Metcons is up next. Same thing, double click, get into Excel, enable editing, file, export, change file type, CSV, save as. Put a note at the back so you know what's going on, or just change the file name. You don't have to change the file name, just what I chose to do. It'll show up right there. And then we're going to go to performance results. This is your weightlifting, for those wondering what's actually in here. Back squats, all the different things that you've done. File, save as, or export, excuse me, change file type, CSV, save as. Everything else that shows up in Wodify, whether it's my PRs or any of the other stuff, you don't need to worry about. For whatever reason, that's not going to pull in properly. And really, there's not, depending on the gym, there's not going to be a lot of data in there. I know there wasn't for us. If you're doing CrossFit totals a lot, then there may be something in there for you. I think that's one of the options. But PRs, when it comes to your weightlifting, PushPress is just going to take your highest weights per given rep scheme, per lift, and use that as your PR. You don't have to do anything with that. When it comes to benchmark workouts and different Metcons that we've done, even the named things, we'll get into that next. There's no good way that I've seen as of yet, and again, it's still early, to put the PRs in. It's more from here going forward, the new PRs that you set and the progress that's made will show up. I think that is it. From here on, importing into PushPress is going to be the same as it was on the Mac. You'll see that tab up in the top right that says import. you'll just go in and select individually the 3 different file types saved as a CSV and import those one at a time. Should be pretty straightforward, and hopefully everything will pop up. You'll see that red box up in the top right, or green box, excuse me, in the top right that says success. If you see a red box, something probably went wrong when you tried to save the file rather than export. Maybe went in and did a save as. That's pretty common in these. Some of the folks that are technically savvy will get in and do the same thing that they would do at work when changing the file type versus the export to save as. The Mac and PC versions of the data pulled over into PushPress, it should show up in your workout history. A couple of things that you'll note here, the biggest being link benchmark. And I feel like this is still kind of a beta type of a situation with this particular function. But as you get into the app itself on the phone, and let's see if we can pull this up here, and your results, your historical results, some of the things will pull over immediately, and some going to take a little bit more legwork. Results, as you get in, you'll be able to just go in and start to scroll through recent results of the workouts that we've done. The other thing you could do is go down into your benchmarks, and there's different I guess benchmarks that they've got, whether it's girls, heroes, log your own. Let's see if we can get down to if qualifiers. Let's see if we can get to weightlifting. Weightlifting is the one out of all the different functionalities in here that will automatically roll in without needing to be quote unquote linked. So your back squat history will automatically show up 1, 2, 3, 5 reps. There's a little calculator that'll show up when, I guess probably everybody saw it today, when that's programmed. The other thing that will pop in, bench press as well. You can kind of see where things are, PRs, whatnot. This will automatically show up. One thing that will show up as well is kind of like you see here. Let me see if I can move this. When this type of percentage work is programmed, it will go in and do the calculations for you when you log into the home screen to see the workout in the app itself. So it'll say 5 at, I think mine today for the back squat was 290 to 315, and it just based it off my 1 rep max. And so it'll do that for you. So if you're kind of confused, and this is a transition for all of us, by having a prescribed number, there is a calculator that you can use to kind of rework those percentages. If you've got a super out of date 1 rep max, you've got an injury, you can go in and kind of adjust things to match where you're at that particular time. Now, if we wanted to go into, let's see here, like girl workouts, I feel like, in some of these, say Annie, it isn't showing any history here. So real quick, if I was to go back out to that main screen, I could do a search in here and do Annie, and you'll see 4 different workouts that popped up named Annie. So in order to link these all together, let's just show you how that works. You're in your workout history in the train.pushpress app. Do a search for Annie. It'll pop up, and you just go in and hit link benchmark, and you can do the search in here as well. And you would hit add, and that will then link Annie. If there's an error, there are some, like I said, this is still not a foolproof piece or functionality within the app. If you go in and, say, I love the workout Isabella, so that was the first thing I tried to do. It wouldn't link. Said there was something about an error and I had to talk to the gym owner, blah, blah, blah. Some of these are just not quite fully baked yet, but there are others that are ripping ready to go. You say, I want to link this next Angie, which didn't do too bad back in the day. I'm terrible at double unders, so between that and sit-ups, these aren't exactly my strengths, but I could go in and put that in there. If you really want to nerd out, you can pull up these different workouts and start to link them together. Unless you're somebody that is super into that data, I don't know that I would bother doing it. I'm just doing it for example. But like I showed you on the the app itself, if I now go to my benchmarks girl and do Annie, whereas before nothing showed up, now there are 4 results, ironically not even close to being my actual PR. Again, still a few kinks to work out here. Nonetheless, that's how you would go in and use that particular benchmark feature within the results tab. The other option is to just, all right, I want to search up Fran, see how those times have been. You can see all of those times throughout history, some good, some bad. It's been a while since I've done it, or at least have tracked it in Wodify. And there you go. So that's the benchmarking feature within the results tab, and then how you would get in there and start linking these to results that you have historically. So again, questions, comments, throw them in the comments. I hope to have this YouTube video uploaded soon. We'll share it in the Dens Club, etc. But feel free to throw a comment in there. If you're at CrossFit Overtake and you just see me wandering around and have more questions, feel free to stop and ask. It's a labor of love for me. I'm a data nerd and I like working out. So, put the two together and I'm in high heaven. So that's the end of this. Hopefully it's been helpful. If not, that's okay too. You can make fun of me offline or on, either way. I accept all feedback, both positive and negative. And I'm not going to beg people to like and subscribe because I think I will only have one YouTube video, this being it, in my life. So until next time, gang, happy fitness. We'll talk to you soon.